The very last idea that we're going to look at in 2.1 is this idea of radioactivity. Radioactivity is basically a property of a substance that means that over time it decays. Over time it breaks apart and no longer is that substance. And so what we can do is we can draw a graph for that specific substance, and over time you'll see that the amount, if we're measuring the amount on the y-axis, over time decreases. And it happens in a very exponential way. Over one specific block of time that we call the half-life, our sample has decreased by 50%. Over the next half-life, our sample has decreased by another 50%. And so over time, we get less and less of our particular substance, and this is a very characteristic property of certain isotopes. Okay, we can actually use this property of certain isotopes to figure out how old things are. So we can identify historical artifacts' ages, and this is used a lot. You might have seen in TV shows where someone's trying to forge a painting. They can use carbon dating to figure out whether or not the painting is actually as old as the person claims it is supposed to be. The way that we do that is we use the isotope carbon-14. We figure out how much carbon-14 we have in our sample. We figure out how much carbon-14 we have specifically in living things today, and based on that ratio we can figure out how many of those half-lives, how many of those minus 50% of the sample have gone by. And specifically for carbon-14, the half-life is about a little under 6,000 years.